to another edition of Engineering and You here on Oguse Television. I am Olayinka Shoduke. As you all know, this program intends to focus on encouraging students in secondary school and those seeking admission into university to seek career path in the field of engineering and science. Don't forget that this program is actually sponsored by Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, FNSE, in conjunction with the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the Abeokuta chapter of that. As you know, we now have a quiz question that tends to come up every week. Last week, we actually had a winner, but then the person is not qualified to get the prize attached to the question because the person is quite older than our target audience on this particular show. So if you are a young person out there, most especially secondary school students, this program is for you. If you do call in and you get the questions correctly, you'll be able to get the prize. But then when you do call in to answer the questions, do understand the fact that you need to ask our guest in the studio a question also, then you answer our question for today. Very quickly, let me give you the question for today right now. The question for today is, what is the name of the energy derived from the sun? What is the name of the energy derived from the sun? So if you do have the answer to that, you can send it in on our social media platforms. We are streaming live on Facebook right now, on Facebook, Ogun TV on Facebook, and drop in your comment on our Facebook platform. But then it will be important for you to call in during the time we open up the phone line, so you can call in, ask our guest a question, and then answer the question. There will be a take-home question also, which I'll be dropping at the end of the program. But now I would love to introduce our guest for today, Engineer KAYODE ADENIJI. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers.
Yes, welcome to the program. So we'll go on this short break right now. When we do return, we'll be having his profile, and we'll be discussing in depth on engineering and science. Yes, welcome back. This is Engineering and You here on Oguse Television. Right now, let's go into the profile of Engineer KAYODE ADENIJI. Engineer KAYODE ADENIJI, FNSE, FNICE, FICA, C.ENG. He is a thoroughbred professional with vast experience in project management. He had his primary and secondary school education here in Abeokuta, and he graduated as the best pupil, both in primary and his secondary school. He proceeded to Ogun State Polytechnic, which is now the Moshood Abiola Polytechnic here in Abeokuta, where he studied civil engineering and graduated in the pioneering set of the Citadel of Learning with several awards in 1982. By matriculation, Engineer KAYODE ADENIJI is the #1 civil engineering graduate of the Polytechnic and the first engineering product of the institutional who had merit fellowship award of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. In 1995, he proceeded to the University of Benin for a postgraduate diploma in computer science application. His passion for professionalism made him sit and pass the Nigerian Society of Engineers professional examination in 1996. Engineer ADENIJI backed a master's degree in civil engineering in 1997 and added an MBA in the year 2000. He proceeded to the Ministry of Works and Transportation in Niger State for his youth service from within 1982 and 1983. Then he moved to Chapaco Limited in Kaduna as a project engineer in 1983 and up until 1985. And between 1995 and 2015, Engineer ADENIJI was with Ethernet Limited, a multinational manufacturing access group of companies occupying different managerial positions. He has worked in the private sector, he has worked in the public sector, and he has done a lot of construction when it comes to, he did the construction for the Kaduna International Airport, the Aminu Kano International Airport, and different projects in and around the country. If I do go on, there are a lot I can say about you, Engineer KAYODE ADENIJI. Welcome to the program once again.
Me?
Yes, so when I've spoken to quite a number of engineers on this particular program, and they tend to tell me that they went into the field of engineering because of their flair for mathematics, because they were good in mathematics. Is that the same situation for you, sir?
Yes and no.
Okay.
What's really took me to engineering was the fact that I was fascinated by some of the things I was seeing growing up, even right in primary school in this town, Abeokuta, a lot of construction work going on. That was the time they are really developing the place. I remember Guvanti, I remember Haboni, I remember Oni and Sons. They were very busy construction companies all over the place. I was fascinated with what I was seeing. Then, by the time I get to mid-secondary school, what we call Form 3, what you call SS1 now, no, what you call GS3 now, and we're introduced to sciences. Because of my flair for mathematics, it was a ready answer to how to go into engineering. And well, I would say mathematics is a real ingredient. You just have to know mathematics to study engineering. But I got interested in engineering before I went into mathematics.
Okay, so that flair had been there before you discovered that, okay, you're actually good in mathematics.
Yes, the motivation was there. So apart from mathematics, of course, to do engineering, because I know that will be the next question, you have to know a lot of physics, you have to be very good in chemistry, and you have to be good in what we call hard maths nowadays. Later they call it further maths. I don't know what they call it now. So if you have to go to A level, they call it maths, physics. That's additional maths. A lot of mathematics. Mathematics is a real ingredient. You have to know it. The basis of science, the basis of engineering, it's mathematics. So that interest must be there. The motivation must be there. And you must have somebody you are looking at as maybe a role model, so to say.
Okay, I love what he has mentioned also, which is, mathematics is important. And don't forget, this is an interactive program. If you do want to get involved, the phone lines are on your screen right now. You can call in and ask our guest a question related to engineering. And if you do want to answer our quiz question also, you can answer that. So call us in. Right now, I want to go into looking at the fact that a lot of people believe that because I'm young, a lot of children out there that want to go into, let's say, law, they want to go into football, they want to go into the arts, and they believe that because they want to do that, they need to choose between being an engineer and, going into another, aspect of art or any other career. And we have seen quite a number of people who are engineers and also professionals, as lawyers. For example, Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon is also a lawyer, and some other people. So I want you to expand on that, for students to understand the fact that, they could be engineers and also follow other career paths at the same time.
Yeah, thank you very much. There's no profession that is inferior to another one. There's no profession that is better than any other profession. But if we are talking of development and growth of any nation, the basis is engineering. A nation is as good as her engineering. A nation is as developed as the engineering is has. I will attempt to define engineering in my way. Engineering is the science of the art of harnessing natural resources to give convenience and at the same time create wealth both for individual and for the nation. If for instance, all the deposits that nature gives us will be useless and worthless without engineering. I'll give you a few examples. Cement is a product of limestone, clay, and little of gypsum. Limestone and clay will be there unless it is re-engineered to produce cement. Crude oil, well, let me say oil deposit there, without being explored, without being what do you call it, distilled or manufactured or what do you call it, processed properly. Crude oil is useless. But iron, diamond, gold, steel, they are just deposits there until when they are re-engineered and processed. That's when they produce wealth for the individual and the country by extension. There's so many examples. So if somebody wants to go into engineering, the interest of developing something for itself and for the nation to grow should be the primary motivation.
Yes.
So by and large, if you want to grow, engineering is life. Because without engineering, we will not be talking, people will not be seeing us here. The air conditioner, the microphone, the camera, everything you can think of they are all products of engineering. So engineering is finding solutions to problems. I'll give you another example. I like giving examples, practical examples.
Yes.
Some 2-3 years ago, some 4-5 years ago, we are coming to this station. You can stay 1-2 hours as that's your mortuary junction. Somebody came with a vision. Usually the philosopher, the statesman, or the politician. They come with a vision, they will just call engineers. So look, I want this problem solved. And what do? We came up with a bridge, with an overhead bridge, and you can pass through that place smoothly now. That's finding solution to the problem. So apart from convenience that engineering provides, apart from the wealth that engineering provides, engineering ultimately provides solutions to human problems, and that's why it is a king.
Okay.
Don't forget again that it's only engineers, unless I want to be challenged, it's only engineers that can go into other professions and excel. We know of engineers that are lawyers. I challenge you to give me a lawyer that goes to read engineering. We know engineers that's because they want to, because of interest or something, they went into accountancy, right, and get chartered. I still want you to tell me an accountant that went into engineering. Because of interest, engineers are top in management. But we're not encouraging engineers to go into other areas if there's no need. By the time you grow up in engineering, top management position in banks, in industries, and other places are filled with engineers. I don't want to be modest. When we did an MBA some 21 years ago, the top 12 graduates are engineers. Yet it's a management course. Accounting is there, financial management, accounting management, law, everything is there. So engineers excel, and maybe because of the basis that they have, the basics of mathematics and sciences.
Okay.
I can go on and on.
I understand. So for children at home right now thinking, okay, I want to go into the field of engineering, I want to explore this. Where is the best place for me to study? Should I stay back here in the country? I know you studied here in the country, but you have experience even abroad. But then, where is the best place for me to study?
So many of our graduates here in Nigeria that really migrated abroad, they are wonderful. They're doing wonderfully well. So I would say, you can study anywhere. If you have the opportunity to go abroad, no problem. But it doesn't make the man or woman that studies abroad doesn't make them better than you. You can even do better than them, right? I can tell you, I had reasons to attend medical issues out of the country, and after going through all the procedures, the top man to attend to me happens to be an Abeokuta person, and that's in America, one of the best hospitals in America. The person that attended, and he studied here. He studied Lishabi Grammar School, Abeokuta here. So when I saw his name, the way they were calling him, I didn't know they were calling Shegun. They were calling Shegan. You see our boss, you see the consultant, Shegan. Lo and behold, I said, so my friend, you are Shegun. So it's an Abeokuta guy. He studied here in Abeokuta.
Okay, so that does not really matter as far as you put your mind to it and you decide to want to be the best. So you are a civil engineer. So who is a civil engineer? What part of civil engineering are you actually into? Transportation, structural? Sort of give us a more brief analysis of what part of engineering are you into? Because a lot of students are out there, thinking, where do I want to, focus on? Should I be into electrical, electronics, all of this? So give us a brief rundown on that.
Engineering is engineering. Engineering is sweet. Engineering is concrete. It's not abstract. You talk the walk. You walk the talk, rather. You see, I am a civil engineer, first and foremost. And in the course of my working, I worked in so many places. I did a lot of road. I did a lot of road as highway engineer. I was involved in dam construction. I was involved in hospital project. I was involved in sewage construction. I was involved in airport construction as a corporal and so on and so forth. So you as an engineer, as a civil engineer, you have so many things you can do. So many areas.
Sorry, we do have a call right now from Deji. Deji is calling in from Abeokuta. Deji, hello. Hello, Deji. Okay, thank you. That was to call us back. We cannot hear you right now, but we do know that you're on the line. But if you do want to call back, please call back as soon as possible so you can ask your questions and also answer the question of the day. The phone line are actually on your screen right now. So continue your thoughts on you explaining, engineer, being a civil engineer, it is not abstract and all of that.
Yes, my personal experience, I said I did I delved in a lot of areas. I started with airport construction, this is in Kaduna. I worked there for years. I did road construction in Niger State. I did road construction in Aja, Lekki, Ado, Badore Road. I worked in a hospital, Didoli Hospital in Kenya. I worked in the most ambitious water scheme in this state, Ifo Aguside, Badore, excuse me, Arigbajo water scheme. I work on dam. I did a lot of construction, bridges, and so on and so forth. Sewage in Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital.
Sorry, I would like to hold your thoughts on that right now. We have Wale calling in right now. Wale, what's your name? Please go ahead. Where are you calling from?
Calling in right now.
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead.
I think the answer to the question is solar, but we can also derive solar energy from the sun.
Okay, we'll let you know if that's actually correct, but then we want you to ask our guest the question. Sorry, please turn on the volume on your radio so we can, okay, on your TV screen, sorry for that, but then I think I was able to get the answer to the question from you, but we'll let you know if that is correct or not. But do know that when you do call in, we need you to also ask our guest a question, and then you'd answer the question for the day. So moving on right now, you have explained on your very in-depth on who a civil engineer is and how though it's not abstract as you said the other time. But then when it comes to work and career path, a lot of people want to see people that look like them. You understand? So inventors, tell us about some black people who have been able to, either they are based here in Africa or anywhere in the world that have been able to, that they are inventors. Okay, before we go to that, we have Lawal calling from Abeokuta. Lawal, go ahead.
Okay, the answer to the question is solar energy. Because solar energy is derived from the sun.
Okay, thank you very much for that. But then, do you have a question for our guest?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I heard that there is two types of water, soft water and hard water. What can we use to differentiate the two?
Okay, that's not necessary. I don't think it's necessarily engineering related. She's talking about water. There are two types of water: hard water and soft water. But then I don't know if that's if what we're doing when it comes to bridges and everything, you want to look into the kind of water that is actually there. So thank you very much, Lawal, for that.
Yeah, Lawal. Yeah, just like my host said, it's not engineering, but I can answer that question. I know I read about soft water and hard water something about 50 years ago. I can tell you hard water is water that doesn't lather easily with soap. And soft water is the water that really does that. The measure of how good water is whether it is soft or whether it is hard. So that's answer your question.
Okay, I think that's more of a science-related question, but then we are focusing on both at the same time. So I was talking about role models, black people who have been able to do excellently well here in Africa or any part of the world. Can you give us some examples?
Yes, there's so many names because of time. First and foremost, I give utmost respect to the sponsor of this program.
Okay, I want you to hold your thoughts right now. Sorry. We have Additional calling in from Ado Water. Go ahead, Additional.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
I want to contribute to that question.
Okay, go ahead.
I think the energy derived from the sun is solar energy.
Okay, thank you very much for that. But then, do you have a question for our guest in the studio today?
Sir?
Do you have a question for our guest?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, okay, no problem. Thank you very much, Adeshina, calling in from Ado Daughter. Okay, going on, let's see if you'll be able to answer that particular question. Looking at black people, been able to do very well for themselves.
Yeah, so many, but because of time, I would rather mention a few names. The sponsor of this program, Engineer Shilon, is an accomplished engineer. He's a Prince Engineer Shilon, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers. He's an accomplished engineer. He's a lawyer, well-made lawyer. He's a marketing guru. He's a stockbroker. He's a chartered stockbroker, that one I know. And he's the largest collector of artworks in the whole of Africa.
Okay, I'm going to continue on that. We have Darasimi calling in from Abeokuta. Darasimi, go ahead.
Okay, the energy derived from the sun is solar energy.
Okay, thank you very much, Darasimi. But then we want you to ask our guest a question. Do you have a question, please?
I don't have any question yet.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much, Darasimi, for that. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I said, and Engineer Shilon is the largest collector of artworks in whole of Africa.
Yes.
So I mean, it's enough model. I can tell you of Professor Ayodele Awojobi of blessed memory. That was the person that really motivated me into engineering. I can mention a lot of people like that. But I would like to go outside these shores so that we can appreciate what we can do with science. This program is about science and engineering, not just engineering. Somebody asked me before we entered the studio off camera, that said, look, can somebody make money by being an engineer?
Please.
I said.
Okay, yeah, Michael calling in from Abeokuta. Michelle, sorry. Michelle, go ahead.
Yes, excuse me. We talked about mathematics.
Yes, go ahead.
We talked about mathematics.
Yes.
Is a student compulsory to go into mathematics before he can be an engineer?
Okay, must a student be good in mathematics before he or she can go into the field of engineering? That's your question, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Michelle, for that. Okay, so the question is, must a student be good in mathematics before going to
the answer is emphatic yes. Emphatic yes. No,
there's no two-way about it.
But I tell you that mathematics is one of the simplest subjects if you have right motivation and right tutorship. So I was talking about
okay, before you continue with that, we're going to do that very soon. But then once we go on a brief break right now, we'll be right back.
Our inventor for the week, Thomas Edison, who invented incandescent light bulb. Light bulb has been in existence long before Edison's invention, but they all get burned up very quickly. Edison succeeded and surpassed his competition by developing a practical and inexpensive light bulb. He tested more than 3,000 designs for bulbs. Edison's design increased the lifespan of the bulb. Edison's bulb invention is an appreciation of science and engineering.
Welcome back. This is Engineering on Your Year on Nuguse Television. So let me go back. You were trying to complete your thoughts right now.
Yes, I was saying money is not everything. Any money that doesn't add economic value to the society is economic poison. So, having said that, I give an example of somebody, or people, scientists that discovered COVID-19 vaccine, for instance. The average cost of COVID-19 is between $7 and $23. Let's assume it is $10 per one. The world population today is 7.9 billion. Let's say 50% of the world population gets a jab. So that means $10 times 4 billion. Yeah. That's 40 billion. Yeah. $40 billion. I tell you today that the budget of Federal Republic of Nigeria is $35. So those people are richer by only one invention. They are richer than the country called Nigeria. That's what it is to go into science and get to the top post. Again, talking of getting rich, you can't do engineering. You can't be an engineer and be poor. The basic needs according to Maslow is first of all the physiological needs. Right? After the physiological needs, you talk of safety and security. Those are the basic needs. Every engineer will be able to get that one. The next one is social needs, which is psychological needs. After that one is self-esteem. Up to that level, an engineer will get that one. The last one is getting self-actualization. And you know, I mean, that's that's the way to put it in Yoruba. MK Abila was not poor before he said he wants to be president, and so on and so forth. That's the last one, the apex. So the basic needs and the psychological needs, an engineer, you will get it. And you have value, you add value to your life, and you will enjoy life, and you'll be very, very prestigious for yourself.
Okay, thank you. I believe that's also your closing remarks.
My closing remark, I like a very, very, very nice quote, popular quote of Martin Luther King Jr. He said, and that's for our youth especially, he said, if you can fly, do fly. If you cannot fly, make sure you run. If you cannot run, make sure you walk. If you can't walk, you crawl. But if you refuse to do anything, that's indolence and that is criminal. So I enjoy our youth to fly. If they cannot fly, they should run. If they cannot run, they should walk. If they cannot walk, they should crawl. Doing nothing, very criminal, unacceptable, and is height of indolence.
Okay, thank you very much. So now, the question for next week is, who invented microphone? Who invented the microphone? So you can send in your answers on our social media platform, and we're able to take that. So our winner for today is actually Lawal. Lawal, you are our winner, so we'll reach out to you. Thank you very much once again, Engineer KAYODE Adeniji, for coming on to the program this week. Thank you very much. We do appreciate you. So on to next week, I am Olayinka Shodunke.